It was a bright Monday morning in Kolkata when my phone buzzed urgently. I was leaning on our terrace railing, sipping hot tea, and watching a bright parrot hop on a wire. Below me, the Salt Lake neighborhood was waking up. A tea vendor lit his stove, rickshaws rattled by, and children in uniforms hurried to school. Then the call came. Rajat Sen Gupta, an old friend and industrialist, was on the line, sounding frantic.
Arudha, it's an emergency.
He gasped.
It's Shreya. She's missing.
His words pierced the morning calm. My heart sank. Shreya was Rajat's 10-year-old daughter, always curious and cheerful. In Arup's car, we sped through the busy Salt Lake streets. By the time we reached Rajat's apartment, I was anxious and sweaty. Inside, Rajat stood in the living room, distraught by the fireplace. His wife, Vrinda, sat on a chair weeping, and the nanny, Mrs. Mukherjee, paced in shock. Arup, my uncle and mentor, took charge immediately.
Who last saw Shreya?
He asked calmly, eyes sharp behind his glasses. Rajat, hands trembling, answered.
My wife did. Shreya was playing upstairs. I left to get some files from my study. 10 minutes later, she was gone.
Arup turned to Mrs. Mukherjee. She was sobbing.
I left Shreya with Mrs. Sen Gupta in the study. When I came back with fresh clothes, the door was ajar and Shreya was gone. I screamed and Mr. Sen Gupta rushed in.
She managed between sobs. Arup gently guided everyone to the study. The scene told a story. On the desk sat a half finished cup of tea, now cold. Shreya's coloring book lay open on the floor, crayons scattered as if she had dashed off. Carefully, Arup lifted the edge of the rug. Beneath it lay a crumpled sheet of paper. He unfolded it and read aloud. Do as we say if you ever want to see Shreya again. The ransom note was typed in block capitals on thin white paper, the ink a peculiar purple. Arup flipped the sheet.
See these torn edges? It's ripped from a notebook. And that purple ink? Looks like a typewriter. They covered their tracks.
Rajat collapsed onto the couch, burying his face.
Detective, please. She's just a child.
He sobbed. Arup placed a steady hand on his shoulder.
We will find her.
He said firmly.
You did the right thing calling me.
He took out his phone.
Aparajit Acharya, send your team to Salt Lake. Kidnapping.
Within minutes, Inspector Aparajit Acharya arrived with officers. Arup quickly explained the clues. Acharya nodded and barked orders.
Check all CCTV cameras from this morning. Forensics on the note. Sweep every corner.
The police scrambled into action. As officers worked, Arup examined the apartment. In Shreya's bedroom, her favorite stuffed rabbit sat untouched on the bed. The window was still locked from the inside. It had not been opened. Arup noted that carefully. He then inspected the front door area. The door was ajar, and a muddy footprint marred the polished floor by the mat. Kneeling, Arup dusted it.
Fresh mud.
He said.
From outside. They escaped through here.
He called to Acharya.
Get the security tapes for 8:30 am onward, especially the gate and street cameras.
We waited tensely with Rajat. He kept whispering prayers. I sat beside him, offering what comfort I could. My eyes darted around the living room. An old clock ticked loudly. Family photos lined the mantel. One photo showed Shreya smiling broadly. It felt like a cruel reminder now. Arup quietly checked his watch. Then a constable rushed in.
Sir, we have something.
He said, rewinding a CCTV monitor. We leaned in. At 9:15 am, a white Swift Desire glided into view. Two men in orange construction vests stepped out, carrying toolboxes. They walked calmly toward a door, then, a moment later, got back into the car. At 9:17, the car sped off toward the east. Arup's eyes narrowed.
That must be the getaway car.
He said quietly.
They posed as workers.
Rajat's face went ashen.
They knew exactly where we live.
he cried. Arup thought carefully.
Someone told them. But right now, let's follow the clues.
He looked at Acharya.
Get that license plate. Also, check if any other cameras caught their faces.
Acharya tapped on his tablet.
Plate is registered to Ashok Sengupta, your brother.
Rajat stared.
Ashok borrowed that Swift. He's on a trip now.
Arup stood and rubbed his chin.
Ashok's supposed to be out of town. But if they found his car here, either they found out about Shreya and planned this, or they followed Ashok expecting a chance. Does Ashok have a phone on him?
We tried calling. It goes to voicemail.
Acharya said. Arup turned to Rajat.
Ashok lives near Raj Bhavan, right? We should check there.
Before going, Arup bent to the floor. There was something small by the door, a tiny yellow stud earring, the same kind Shreya often wore.
That's Shreya's.
Rajat whispered in horror. Arup carefully picked it up.
She dropped this.
He said.
She must have gotten scared and left it behind.
He put it in an evidence pouch and looked at us.
We have leads. I'm going to Ashok's place. Deboshi, you come with me. Acharya, alert everyone in the area.
We raced out. Acharya called for immediate blockades on the expressway and surrounding roads. Ashok's apartment was modest. Arup gave a curt knock on the door. When no one answered, he signaled and we entered quietly. The interior was trashed. Drawers pulled out, clothes on the floor, a smashed lamp. On the couch lay Ashok, motionless, blood on his temple. My heart lurched.
Help him!
Rajat cried and bent over his brother. I quickly unwrapped the cloth stuffed in Ashok's mouth. He coughed and gasped. He was awake but disoriented.
Where am I? Police?
Ashok managed, eyes fluttering.
Arupda is here.
Rajat told him between sobs. Arup scanned the scene. There was a hole in the wall above Ashok.
They shot at him.
He said.
He's lucky this just grazed him.
Acharya had arrived by now. He ordered his men to secure the crime scene. One officer held up a small object found on the carpet, a bright yellow plastic flower petal. Arup recognized it instantly.
That's from Shreya's hair clip.
He said softly.
She dropped it here.
Rajat looked at the petal in disbelief.
She was in this apartment.
He whispered, mouth dry. Arup nodded.
Yes, they must have brought her here after abducting her. Ashok saw them. That's why they attacked him.
He focused back on Ashok.
Ashok, you're going to be okay. You got away with your life. Let's get you to a hospital.
Paramedics arrived and tended to Ashok's head wound. Acharya looked at Arup.
We got bullet fragments and prints, but time is short.
Arup agreed.
We have just a day. They'll demand ransom by evening, but the police will be waiting. For now, find Shreya before that.
He pulled out his phone and opened a map.
Show me where that car went.
Rajat found the last ping of the Swift.
It headed east on the canal road near Gobindapur.
Arup nodded.
That's an industrial area with old warehouses. If they had a hideout, it would be there. Let's move.
We arrived near the Hooghly at Gobindapur. It was late afternoon. A monsoon breeze was coming. We found the white Swift just where reported, parked by the canal bank under a clump of eucalyptus trees. Arup checked it. The rear seat had a woolen blanket, muddy and torn.
They used this to cover her eyes.
He said, wiping mud off the glass. I scanned around. An emergency hammer was on the passenger floor, tip broken off. Arup picked up the handle.
They tried to break the window from inside.
He then noticed something glinting under the seat, a piece of black cloth. He pulled it out.
This matches Shreya's dress.
He said quietly.
She was here, tied up.
One officer called out.
No one's here now.
Arup handed me the scrap of cloth.
They fled on foot.
He said.
Keep your eyes open.
We followed the canal path cautiously. Tall grass and reeds hid us. Over the water, Evening insects buzzed. I spotted a larger piece of the same black fabric snagged on barbed wire. More of a dress, I said, pointing. Arup gathered it carefully. Up ahead were broken factory buildings, brick ruins. We crept closer. Through a gap in the wall, we saw them. Three men talking near the dark entrance of a warehouse. Shivanand was among them. The other two wore masks. One held a pistol, likely their boss. Shreya was kneeling a few feet away, tied and crying quietly. Back at Rajat's home, Vrinda was crying and hugging Shreya. The girl was safe in her father's arms at last. Arup watched from a distance, relief settling on his face for the first time. Later that night, at the police station, Shreya was reunited with her parents. Arup and I sat exhausted with Acharya in a small office, drinking sweet chai and letting the adrenaline fade. Arup finally leaned back and broke the silence.
The man in the raincoat, he was Vinay Kapoor.
He said quietly. I nearly choked on my tea.
Vinay Kapoor? The rival who lost the contract?
Arup nodded.
He's the one. It all fits. Shreya's bookshelf had that Kapoor Toys sticker. The gun, it was traced to his company. He paid those thugs to scare Rajat, but he's going to jail now.
Acharya slapped the table.
Vinay Kapoor. Of course. That snake. I can't believe he would stoop to kidnapping.
Arup shrugged.
He thought it was quiet, paid off a gang. We showed him it doesn't work that way.
Rajat stood up, hugging Arup's shoulders.
Arupda, you saved my daughter's life.
He choked out.
I will never forget this.
Arup looked tired but nodded.
I just followed the clues, Rajat. The police handled the rest.
Acharya joined them.
We owe you big time. You two did something extraordinary.
Arup gave a small smile.
Teamwork.
He said. When we stepped outside, the warm night breeze from the river felt comforting. The city of Kolkata was quiet under the streetlights. Rickshaws idled, and a few late night vendors were serving tea and kosha mangsho to hungry customers. I turned to Arup. We actually did it, I whispered. He gave me a steady look.
Yes, we brought her home. Never doubt yourself. Today, Debu, you were calm and resourceful.
I felt tears of relief. Thank you, Arupda. I'm so grateful. Arup patted my shoulder.
Don't forget what you learned today. Logic, calm, and compassion. Even in the darkest hour, they'll guide you.
I won't, I promised. He smiled proudly.
I'm proud of you, Debu.
We parted ways at the college gate near Lal Bazaar. I walked home slowly, replaying every moment. Each clue had mattered. Fear and adrenaline had been my shadow all day, but now I felt at peace. When I reached home, I finally felt the weariness hit me. In bed, I opened my notebook and scribbled one more line. Nothing is as it seems. Trust reason and compassion in equal measure. It had been the longest day of my life, one I would never forget. The city slept peacefully now. Tomorrow, everyone would call it just another crime solved. To me, it was a story of fear and courage, of a little girl's faith and a detective's resolve. Tonight, I fell asleep knowing we had done something very good.